Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of A Gardener's Journey Homestead. I'm Barbara. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have been following me, welcome back. So today is harvest day for the garlic. So I'm outside the back of my house and I have a raised bed of garlic that I planted in, I think, the end of October. This is now mid-June, so it's time for the garlic to be harvested. And so this is my second time doing garlic. So I thought I would take you along with me to see what the harvest is this time compared to last year. I will also link my video from last year of when I harvested my garlic. So just kind of give you some background. So this is my second year doing garlic. Last year I did it in a raised bed behind my house as well, a different raised bed. And last year I planted garlic that my friend had gifted me, some cloves from her previous garlic harvest the year before. This year I actually used some of those cloves from last year to do my garlic, but I also ordered organic garlic from Mad River Growers. And I ordered two different kinds. I did I think it's Georgian Crystal and then red chestnut. And so I did a whole bed of both of those different types. So three different types: the Georgian Crystal, the red chestnut, and then cloves that I had from last year. I will tell you that I still have cloves from last year that I need to mince and use up. They're starting to sprout, but literally it lasted me a whole year and I probably have 15 bulbs left. And so being a new gardener, garlic has been one of the easiest things to grow. You kind of put it in the ground and let it be. That's what I did this time. The only difference is that I had different garlic that I bought. So I'm gonna see what the harvest is. There are some weeds in this bed, so I'll give you that heads up right now. And then also I do have some ants in a portion of this bed, so I'm gonna be a little bit extra careful, more careful than I normally am, because I know there's ants in this bed. I'm gonna try my best not to get bit. But I'm curious to see what I have in terms of the harvest. I've already harvested two. The ground is very hard because I haven't watered it in a while, and we haven't had any rain probably in the last week or so. Usually once the garlic is about to be harvested, you know, a couple weeks before, I'll stop watering it. And then I picked garlic scapes probably about 2 to 3 weeks ago. So the garlic should be ready. I did do two. Let me show you the two that I got. So I harvested two already. Then I thought, well, let me bring them along with me. So this is one. So that's a pretty nice size. And I'm pretty sure this is one of the ones of the cloves from last year. Then this one is pretty small. Still usable, just smaller. So you can kind of see the difference between the two. So let's see what else we have and see what our harvest is like this year. And if you grew garlic this year, let me know what kinds you grew, if you love them, and that way maybe I can try them next year. So let's go ahead and get started and see what we have in this bed. Okay guys, I'm having to really work to get this garlic out. The soil is really compacted, dry, but it's really compacted, and I'm not sure. I definitely don't remember this last year. I think it would have stood out. I just remember kind of just gently pulling, the garlic was coming up, but not so with this. And those ants, they're in one corner, and I had to just leave that corner because they were coming out in masses. And yes, I've used diatomaceous earth over and over and over. So the ones in the corner gonna stay put for right now until I can come up with a better plan, and maybe I'll put some DE on it before I leave this bed tonight, and then come try to do the rest in the morning. But y'all, look at what I've pulled so far. These cloves. Let me knock some of this dirt off. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. You can kind of see. So I'm really pleased at the size of the ones I've pulled so far. So I have tons more to go, but I at least wanted to just show you the size I'm getting and showing you what's going on about the soil being compacted. And one of the things I did mention, if you're new to garlic growing, one of the ways you can know your garlic is ready is, one, if you have hard neck garlic, it's going to produce a garlic, sorry, something was on my arm. It's going to produce a garlic scape, which is like this center piece that comes out and forms this curly bulb. Once you see the scapes, usually your harvest, your garlic is going to be ready to harvest in the next, 2 to 4 weeks, somewhere along in there. But also you can see that the leaves are starting to turn brown, right? And a lot of them are starting to kind of topple over. So that also lets you know that the garlic is kind of done maturing and all that good stuff. So, and then also you can just go by when you planted it. So I planted mine, I think the end of October, first part of November. So it's been a good 7 months. And so I think she is ready. So I'm going to keep going and see what else I get. Okay guys, so here's the verdict. I am probably, I would say 75% done. There's some in there that's just really, really, really hard to get out. And I've done something to my back. So I might let my husband get the rest. But here's a couple of observations. I would say out of all that I pulled, I would say that 60% of them are that really nice big size that I showed you, which is bigger than any of the cloves I had last year. And then the other 40% are really, really small, like the small one that I showed you. And I know exactly why. It's because I planted them too close. So my spacing, because it's very distinct, the ones that had adequate spacing got bigger. The ones that were more close together did not get as big. And I remember, and I probably even said it on that video, I had ordered that garlic and those cloves were really, really big. And there was a lot of them. I ordered, I think, half a pound of each size. So it was a pound. And I remember at the end, when I had done, I think I did 4 rows, I had garlic left over and I started putting them in between, right? And I think I even said on that video, hey, this is probably too tight of a space and let's just see what happens. Well, we saw what happens, right? And I just didn't want to start, I didn't want to have 2 garlic raised beds. Like I didn't want to give up the space in raised beds to have the garlic. So I put it all in one. And so my spacing got off and it was more cramped. So now I know. And again, that's part of it. Can I have read that? Yes. Have I heard that? Yes. But it's nothing like doing it yourself and you saying like, oh, that did make a difference, right? And so my harvest in terms of the number of pieces of garlic is more. And I have some really big pieces. Does it compensate for the small pieces? I don't know, right? I definitely could have had more nice sized garlic if I would have done my spacing right. And if I would have just used another bed. Now that I have the in-ground garden by the greenhouse, then obviously next year, maybe I can put it in the ground and use space out there if I want to. That's definitely some more space. Or maybe I'll suck it up, buttercup, and use 2 different beds. I don't know. You know how it is. You know, when it comes to garden space, I mean, you're like protective of your space. And I do realize I do have, quite a bit of space, not necessarily in raised beds, but I do have space in the ground. So we'll see what happens. We'll cross that bridge, when we get to it. So lesson learned. Again, this is all a journey and you're going to grow and learn. I just want to encourage you to take those risks in your own garden, right? So I didn't, my bulbs overall are not all the same size. They're not uniform. They're not all big. I have some that are really, really small. Okay. I can probably just, it's like the size of maybe 2 cloves, right? It's really small. Is it still edible? Yeah. But 2 cloves and we're done. It's over and done with. So will the garlic last me the whole year? I don't know. We'll see. Definitely. Do I use a lot of garlic? I use an average amount. I would say maybe, I don't know. I probably don't use a whole bulb a week. I wouldn't say that. Maybe a half a bulb, on average, a week. So I don't know if that's a lot or not. You guys tell me if you guys are using way more than that. I don't know. But I still have the garlic left over from last year. Again, it's starting to sprout, so it's still good, but it's not probably as strong. So I was just going to mince that and just have it, you know, on hand to use. So I'll definitely use up that first before I get into this. And for this, I'm going to let it cure because I'm going to store it long term. And typically I've been storing mine in our root cellar. But while it's curing, it'll probably be, yeah, I'll probably put it in the root cellar while it is curing. And so usually with garlic, you want to let it cure at least 2 weeks for the whole thing to turn brown, and also that skin of the bulb to toughen up. And then we'll cut the tops off and do all that, wash it, clean it. So you don't want to wash it or put water on it now. Just kind of knock the dirt off, and then let it cure for 2 weeks at least, and then you should be good to go if you're going to use it for long-term storage. There's no way I could eat all this garlic without storing it in a quick amount of time. So again, lesson learned. I'm going to do the rest of this bed that I can, and then I'll just let my husband, you know, with his strong arms, let him help me pull the rest of it, because I can definitely feel it in my back. I pulled something as I was trying to yank that garlic up out of there. So anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll go ahead and end the video now, because it'll probably be another day or so before my husband can kind of help me pull it out. And again, it's fine hanging out in the raised bed. But thank you guys so much for joining me on my garlic harvest number 2. Let me know in the comments how your garlic harvest has done, if you've already pulled it out. And also let me know what varieties of garlic you grow that you really, really like. So this is my first time doing the Georgian Crystal and the red chestnut. And I'll tell you, I don't know if the red chestnut is supposed to be like a red tint. I don't know that I can tell the difference, right? I'm pretty sure that the bigger bulbs, that's another thing, that the ones that are smaller are definitely smaller because of the spacing, but they're also smaller, the bulbs that I planted from the last time, meaning from the harvest of last year. Those are definitely smaller because I know exactly where I put those, right? So overall, the takeaways are, make sure that your spacing is right for your garlic. I think in some places I had 6 inches, and I think it's supposed to be like 12 to 18. So definitely it was too close together, did not have the room to spray it. So 1, make sure that you space right. And 2, you know, experiment with definitely some different kinds. The bigger the cloves are when you put them in, obviously they're going to yield bigger bulbs, right? So anyway, lesson learned. I'm glad about the harvest. Again, I've saved some money by not going to the store and buying garlic. So I encourage you, if you haven't grown garlic, definitely put it on your list. It is one of the easiest things to grow as a new gardener. And again, thank you so much for joining me. Remember, this is all a journey. And there's sometimes when we get it 100% right, and sometimes we don't. But whatever we're going to do, let's grow together. I'll see you next time.